Hello everyone, odedex here, welcome to episode 106 of Into Let's Play. So you can see I'm making my way to my red powder quarry, and I'm doing this because I'd like to shut it down, because today I'm finally gonna start building up my proper applied energistic storage. Off screen I've been gathering a little bit more quartz, crystal and dusts, and I think I'm at a good state to at least start building it. However, while building it, I don't want the quarry to do anything. I don't want to mine anything because it's gonna start changing in between. Whoops, actually it was right there. It's going to start changing in between storage areas, storage containers. Everything is gonna change. So I'd like to do this while this is not working. Alright, you also just saw the track placement moving together with this as well, if you're interested. And this is actually quite far away. Is this normal? Yeah, well, it should be fine. Alright, so let's store back the cart and we can get started. Actually, to completely turn off all possible income of resources, I should also turn off those quarries here. So my energy tesseracts, I'm gonna turn them off to require high redstone signal to operate, and since there is no redstone signal, all the excess energy will be used, and this should quickly stop. This one stopped, this one stopped, and this one is about to stop. Alright, so I changed my mind regarding to where the brain and the storage and everything in regard to applied logistics will be. I don't want it to be here. I'd like it to be all in the same room, and since I'm going to replace all the barrels with applied logistics related blocks, having this small area open here seems to be really convenient to be the brain of the operation. So I quickly made another MFSU. I'm going to need some more fiber cables, and what I'm going to do is simply reroute some of the power, some of the energy to above my roof to basically to be available as a position, as an output for power right over here. I may eventually change everything to be working with Buildcraft energy, with Minecraft Joules, but for the time being I'm gonna use EU because Minecraft Joules I need for other things, EU I don't. Specifically moved the recycling machine away from here. Okay, so the output will be, okay, let's do it like this. The output will be only available I want to be using both the uranium and the lava if necessary. So let's Okay, so I want to have my both uranium and lava available for both MFSUs. I'm often using the MFSUs in this room to basically charge my gear, so I want to have both lava and uranium available here and also available on this output, which I just connected with fiber going up on top. So let's do something like this. Let's first disconnect this MFSU from any available inner energy so I can deplete, basically empty it out, and no other energy will regenerate it. So do this, and I'm going to need to disconnect it from here as well. Let's make it face it up, and basically it will empty it out. All its reserves should. Oh wait, this MFSU is facing up as well, because I placed it like this. Now it should start emptying into here without regenerating any energy, and I could remove it safely without worrying about losing any EU. This entire thing I'm doing right now is just to make sure that I'm not losing EU. Okay, I'm gonna wait for this a second. Actually, in the meantime, I can start moving this around. So let's start disconnecting things. Now, the nice thing about applied logistics is anything related to storage is tied to those data disks, those information disks. So the moment I remove it, everything is stored here. I can just replace it here if I want, or any other chest, and everything will be remembered. Now, if you don't have some sort of an applied energistics machine block, you cannot access it. Like right now I'm trying to right click the data disk, it doesn't work that way. You need to have it connected to something in order to extract items out or place item back in. Okay, so let's move this, and I think you can just break those blocks with a pick. So let's break this, and finally break the ME controller. You can start placing things around here. So again, the ME controller first, it will be the one receiving the energy. The access terminal, I don't really need it at the moment, but let's place it right here for the time being. And let's just start. Let's place the storage chest just so there is some room available for something to happen right about here. Okay. So now just wait for this to get emptied. So I just want to route all the energy. You know what? Maybe I can just wait for this not to finish. Okay, so let's get started. Let's first build something that will have a lot more storage space than the current chest that I'm using. Let's go for an ME drive. An ME drive can basically store, instead of a chest, it can just store one data disk and you can have the inventory available to you. The data drive can store 10 drives, but you cannot access any items directly through the block. However, that's what the ME terminal is for. So this is why it's no problem whatsoever. So let's quickly make one. I'm gonna need a chest, 2 of those things, and that's it pretty much. Very easy to make. Let's get the chest. I'm gonna need some glass. And I'm gonna need some iron. I'm gonna need those things on me very soon, a lot of them. Okay, so let's make just one to begin with. It can store, in theory, a lot of stuff, so I don't need too much. You can just place it here for the time being. It's gonna receive its energy, and you can see there are 10 slots to place data disks inside. So to begin with, let's start by creating a second grade, or basically a third grade data disk. Let's go for right now I have one 1K storage. Let's make one 16K storage. So that's a lot more pricey, but it's gonna store a lot more information. Now, in terms of types, I need to store, let's see, just raw material, just my basic current storage materials. I'm gonna need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, approximately 40 different types of materials. However, those are only the final stage materials. Those are the materials that I need. In terms of processing, for the time being, I'm going to remain with my current system. So no ores or desacorium crystals or anything else in that matter will be stored in my current applied energistics system. To begin with, only the final products will be stored. So I'm going to need 40 types. Basically, just any type of one data disk will be enough. The real test will be to check whether or not I can store 2,000 stacks of cobblestone. So yeah. Okay, so to make that 16K storage, I'm going to need some redstone, glass, and iron. And that middle block, which is kind of pricey. Let's get to making that. So I'm going to need one of those. I'm going to need a lot of glowstone. I'm going to need some ME advanced processor. Let's start creating a bunch of those. Let's create a lot. So this, I'm going to need this quartz cutting knife. I'm going to need some redstone. Should start memorizing those recipes. I'm gonna use them a lot. I'm gonna need those a lot. Yeah. Okay, so one of those means 3 of those means 9 of those means this. So I'm gonna need 9 storage cells. You should have that. That's actually not that bad. So 9 storage cells. Only 9, nothing more. And then upgrade that to the next level, which is this. So 3 of those. And then upgrade into this, which I'm missing. I need this. So diamond in the middle, redstone and silicon at the bottom. Of course, I did not bring the silicon with me. So diamond, this thing, redstone and silicon gives me this, and you just cook it. And I think in terms of anything else, I just can craft it. Oh, I'm gonna need some glowstone as well. Okay. So this should be enough. This and what am I missing? Probably redstone. Yep. So there we go. A 16K storage unit. It's kind of pricey. A lot of quartz mainly. Quartz is my biggest problem right now because it's kind of limited. Alright, so once you place it in here, you can see it visually shows you that there is one slot. Also, it kind of corresponds to wherever you place it. I really like that. It's kind of those small things which are really, really nice. Alright, so this is my current storage area. Is this full yet? No, it's going to take some time. Alright, so now I can store things. So let's start. Basically, I have storage, I have access, I have management, and the last remaining thing is just to start moving things into this system. So let's start doing that. I'm going to need, let's see, I'm going to need one of those. I think I'm going to need an import bus. Export bus is export out of the system. Storage bus is interaction with the barrels, but I want to get rid of the barrels. Although I don't have to, but I kind of want to. Let's do the import bus. So I'm gonna need, let's make one. So I'm gonna need a sticky piston. I don't think I even made those ever. So let's create just one. Piston, this will give me a sticky piston and an import bus. I'm gonna need this ME interface. So I'm also gonna need this conversion matrix. Okay. So let's get this thing out of here. Let's make one conversion matrix. Let's first get rid of this. Okay, so this recipe we'll need one of. And this will give me the import bus. What am I missing? Oh wait, I need the ME interface first. Okay. So the import bus. And the way it works, let's start first connecting it. Let's start with silver, just why not? So you just connect it to the top and connect it via a wire. It should start working. Redstone mode, always active, active without signal. I guess it doesn't like the top slot of barrels. Okay, let's try then using the bottom slot of something. So let's try using the netherrack. Whoops. So say connected like this. And there we go. Let's go for one stack at a time. And you can see it start moving out things into the system. Now, in terms of storage, I'm not exactly sure. You can already see that the netherrack is being stored. I'm not sure. Okay, it's being stored in here, in this 16K storage data disk. So that's pretty good. I should probably make some more of those import buses, although eventually I don't know if I'm really going to need it. I probably will. Let's just make some more. Okay, I'm gonna make like a couple more and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so already by the time I finished making 7 more, this one is already finished, so let's take it down. The heat detection of those blocks is a little bit annoying. We'll need to get used to it. Alright, so I got 8 of those at the moment, so let's open an area to pull out of 8 barrels. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And of course, the entire process I'm doing right now is simply because I'm moving from my old storage system to my new storage system, which if you already right off the bat you are using applied logistics, you're not going to need to deal with any of this because you're already, of course, using applied logistics. It's unnecessary. Okay, again, go for stack mode. And if you still don't understand what the import process is doing, it will simply, you can also apply filters to it. You can make it interact with redstone, and you can make sure it pulls out a stack or one item at a time. And it will basically just pull out of the adjacent inventory. It's touching into the system. Now, this is something I'm probably going to repeat a lot. You have to remember that the entire applied logistics system is like one giant same inventory. So it pulls out and it realizes it's connected to something. It's simply going to store it. The brain, the system is going to realize that there is available storage here. So it's simply going to store it here. It's so simple. That's just it. All right, you can see I'm starting. When you see the actual numbers instead of this number of stacks, you actually just realize how much uranium you have. That's a lot of uranium. Okay, so let's start clearing up space for the future pools as well. Okay, so my lead is just isn't finished yet. However, this is finished. So for example, I can just break this, replace it with a cable, and it will be connected again. Everything, any block in the system can be a part of a network. It doesn't care which type of block is it. It just will connect to everything. Anything will be connected. This is why I like this mod so much, because it's really smart about connecting everything. Everything can be a type of a part of the network, no matter which block is it. Just a wire being the simplest type of block, because it's wire. It's the type of connection that has no other meaning other than connection. However, any type of block can be connected to something, and it still will operate as a part of the network. Okay, so stack, 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 and stack. Now I'm starting to notice something that I should pay attention to eventually. Right now, in this current storage system, I have this kind of backdoor solution to make sure that I don't store more than 2,000 stacks of cobblestone, 1,000 stack of dirt, sand, gravel, and sandstone. However, with this system, it's still not set up like that, so I'm going to make sure it does eventually. But yeah, for the time being, I'm not gonna deal with that. Let's continue. Okay, let's wait with the rest of the materials. Let's wait with sandstone. Let's wait with all the cheap materials. Supposedly, I already pulled 2,000 of those. Okay, I'm gonna start pulling. Okay, in order to pull from the other ones, let's do something like this. Let's first clear those barrels. Okay, so in order to start pulling from the other barrels, what I'm going to do is get my trusty gravity gun, courtesy of Aichen, and simply take the barrels, place them up on top, because those are already placed, and it will start pulling the respective materials out of those barrels. So I don't have to start destroying my floor to access the bottom part of the barrels. I can simply do this, which I think is a lot more fun. Alright, so this is taken care of. Let's start moving this as well. And it's also a very nice property of barrels that is not so obvious, that the fact that they can be moved like this, that the information is stored on the entity itself. Okay, this is gonna get full. I'm probably gonna need at least one more 16K, and I'm actually even considering making a 64K. Can I make a 64K? I'm gonna need one of this, which means 3 of those, 9 of those, 27 of those. So that 27 times 4, that's a little bit more than 100 quartz crystals. Can I afford making that? Yeah, you know what, I can. Let's make it. And by the way, just before making it, I'm starting to realize, you look at this room. This room was taken, had so much space taken because of those barrels, and barrels are even a very efficient way to store items. When you store a lot of one of the same item, that's a very efficient way compared to chests. But when you look compared to applied logistics, this is starting to look like a joke. Like, look at this. In theory, 2 blocks and some power source can replace all of this, and we'll store the same amount of everything. This is just ridiculous. Okay, so right before getting to create that 64K one, this MFSU is finally finished moving everything. Also something you have to keep in mind that even though, say, 7 import buses consume a specific amount of energy or something, every time they take an item out, or an export bus exporting an item out of the system, that also takes some energy. In terms of exact numbers, I'm not exactly sure, but you can see that the way it spikes is kind of odd, and it's just because items are being pulled. Every time an item is being pulled or a stack, you can see that the spike of energy fluctuation. Alright, so let's see, how can I modify this to work better? I'm going to need to have that MFSU somewhere in the network, because otherwise I'm going to have a problem with the 40 block distance, so that's going to have to be an integral part of that power network. I'm thinking about doing something very, very simple. First, let's take it off. So, use my new wrench, do this, and simply, can I get out of here please? Let's connect those geothermals outside. They should start working. Oh wait, they shouldn't. And simply replace this with the MFSU. Did I break 2 blocks by accident? Okay, so this one, this is the other, this is connected like this, and like this. So basically, this MFSU, which remember comes from my uranium, my nuclear reactor, will be feeding both those MFSUs when necessary and my applied energistics, but also those geothermals will do the same thing as well. So this way I can use both for either need. However, now this one is not very much accessible to recharge things, only those two that I have right here. But that should be fine. How is this doing yet? Is it full? Yeah, it's full. And when it's full, it stops pulling. It doesn't try to pull and destroy items, it just stops pulling. So it's a smart system. Okay, and you can also see actually the energy used just went down. I guess when the import buses are not working, it doesn't do anything. I don't know. I have 11K zycordite. I have 25K apatite. This is ridiculous. It really is. Oh, you also, ooh, nice. This is also this, you also get this red dot saying that this is full. I like it. Okay, let's make the 64K. By the way, you can also see that this chest also got full. When this one went full, this got full. Remember, everything is connected, so the network tried to store something in here, and this is the result. So only 6 type out of 63, but in terabytes are used. I wonder how it will start balancing out when there is a difference between amount of types used versus bytes used, and how it makes itself work. This is actually interesting, but it's something that I'm simply gonna have to try and look when it happens. Okay, so I think I can get started with making the 64K storage data disk, so let's do that. So let's start with the most basic building block, which is 27 of those. So I need to make only 27. And this is, by the way, what I'm doing right now is the reason why I waited to get some more quartz, because at the moment with the current state of things I can't mine anything. And if I can't mine anything, I cannot gather any resources. If I got stuck without enough quartz right now, I would have been in a bad state. So this is why I was waiting so long to get started. Now I'm going to make this, so I'm going to need some more ME basic processor. I should have made some more silicon, and I should be able to make it. So some more gold, some more silicon, some more redstone, and this thing gives me the basic material which can be cooked. I turn off the timer here so I can cook things manually using the industrial craft power. It's just faster than the buildcraft furnace. So this is it. And let's make the next step, which is this. Only 5. What am I short on? Redstone. Night is coming down. Okay, so, whoops. So 9 of those. The next step is 3 of those. And the last step is 1 of those, the big ones. And can I make the 64K? Yep, I can. 64K storage. It has 8 aspects of Visum, 15 Crystallis. It's amusing that it's actually quite pricey. Quartz crystals have no aspects whatsoever. Okay, so place this in here. Does this get empty? No. Okay, so it's gonna again continue pulling everything out of here. Okay, so with more storage I can now continue emptying other things. So let's get rid of the quartz. Let's get rid of the quartz dust. Those are less than 2 stacks, so whoops. It should get rid of relatively quickly. Yeah, both are already empty. Oh wait, it wasn't empty. Now it is. Okay, diamonds, my precious diamonds. Silver. Okay, so this is about to be empty soon as well. So gold. It's kind of annoying that I can't see the faces of what I'm pulling. Alright, so this is taken care of. This is about to be taken care of. How is the storage disk doing? Yeah, I think the cobblestone, all my basic materials are going to clog it, like really bad. Those are fine, like the little things, even though those aren't as fine. But those things will have some issues, and I probably gonna take this into consideration, at least at the beginning, when I don't have so much storage available to me. I'm gonna see how I end up dealing with this. So basically everything, all the basic materials and coal, because I also have a ton of coal, I'm gonna wait with storing in my applied logistics. So it's gonna be changed a little bit. We'll see how it ends up looking. By the way, while I'm waiting for my exports to do their thing, something I've done off screen, actually forgot to let you guys know. I've decided to add those magmatic engines, basically 16 of them, directly into here, because I do have all this excess lava, which I'm not using as much right now. So there is no reason not to do it, so I can finally start filling up the batteries. I'm still using more than I'm creating. 60 more magmatic engines add 64 microjoules per tick. It pretty much doubles what I was doing with this. I was kind of trying to calculate how much they were doing, and those 16 magmatic engines are pretty much doubling it. So now I'm creating approximately 120 microjoules per tick, a little bit more than that, but that's roughly the numbers. Just, you know, boosting some of my quarries, and actually, wait, let me get my graviton suit. I think since I turned off the quarries, the batteries should start filling up now. They should, in theory. This is not filling up. This is not filling up. Okay, this is filling up. Still using some of it, some of the energy. Where is the energy going then? What's using energy in this network that's using so much? Because my quarries are shut down. I don't know. Okay, so about to finish storing all the other materials other than coal and my exposable things. I've got this close to being half full. It's not half bad. It's doing pretty well actually. So just before ending this episode, let's kind of restore balance so I can turn my quarry back on, everything to be in working order. And it's basically all of those are still going to be stored in those barrels. So I'm going to keep that filtering system in here. However, what I'm going to replace is how does everything else interact with my system? And the block I'm going to need, I think, is the ME interface, which is... where is it? ME interface. Actually, I made that... there we go, this one. ME interface is a specific block designed to be for interaction with tubes and pipes, or basically any type of other inventory. So let's quickly make one. I'm going to need one more of those conversion matrices. I kind of started storing some of those items in here. And you can see why this starts to be so convenient. I can just filter out, look for things, find them, very easy. Okay, so I'm going to need the conversion matrix, which is iron as well, redstone, and I should be on my way. Also going to need some of those tubes kind of things, the cables. So conversion matrix, just one, and one ME interface. What am I missing? Glass. And don't worry, all those chests that I have right here will also eventually be joining the network. Again, this is something that's gonna have to wait, because unlike this storage system that I had here, which has like only 40 types but a lot of amount, like a large volume but low amount of types, this is exactly the opposite. There are a ton of different types of items here, but just each and every one of them on low volume. So this is why chests actually can be still a good option. Okay, so ME interface, craft. Okay, so the way it works, let's place it right about... I'm going to need to be a lower priority than all of those. Okay, then let's place it here. Here. Let's place it here so I can visually things happening. Place one tube. I had a lot on me. Never mind. Okay, so let's start breaking those blocks, those interface buses, and replace them with just cables. So now this is connected. And I think that's pretty much it. That's a lot simpler than you may think. Okay, so let's give it a test. So right now I have 06 iron. If I drop an iron in this relay, it will find its way to the interface, the ME interface. I don't think you'll even be able to visually see it happening. Yeah, you can't even see it happening, but from 06 this should just have gone to 07. So basically any item that goes into here gets placed into the system. Now I think you can even do some configurations on filters or something. This block is kind of I wouldn't say complicated, but it has some different options that actually make it a very interesting and valuable block. But overall, this now means that this storage system can interface with my sorting system. So, except for those two barrels that still need to be emptied, I can now turn on my quarries again, both redstone and buildcraft, and everything should be in working order. I'm gonna quickly do that and see if everything is working fine. So turn those back on, set them to require low redstone signal. And you can see on low scale, on small scale, just with my quarries, things every so often come here, get processed, and eventually will get placed into this system. There you go, it's extremely simple. Now in terms of energy, right now I'm using 25 units per tick. That's not so bad. This obviously keeps up. Probably gonna need to refuel my nuclear reactor at some point, but obviously there shouldn't be any issues whatsoever. This is doing relatively fine. Yep, let me quickly turn on the red power quarry. That will be the final verdict whether it's working or not. Okay, so made my way here. Let's quickly turn it on again. Probably should make some sort of a wireless way to do this at some point instead of making my way here every time and turn this torch on, turn this lever on, but this should now start mining. Although the first few layers are only sandstone, dirt, and those kind of things, so it won't be that interesting. But overall, this should now be working. I still have a little bit less than half of a 64K storage data disk available to me in terms of storage. But there you go. Those cables can be now rearranged to look prettier, and you can just see that it can look properly. So let's replace this, let's replace everything here. I think if this is not connecting to anything, it's just going to keep those items stored in here until the moment it is connected to something. So I'm just rearranging the way it looks to make it look prettier. So and there we go. It will now get rid of all the excess material that it had. And there we go. This is my new storage room, at least for now. It probably be changed once again, but I like it. Small, compact, and useful. Now, the only thing that I don't have is this very easy access to all the different materials that I need. So that, for example, I want sand, I just come to my sand and click sand. This is not something I can do yet. There is an option in Applied Logistics that I'm probably going to use eventually, but this is the new inventory system. Alright, so thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.